And in that moment, what typically happens is that we freeze, we stall, and then we never actually go and do that thing and take the first step, right? But what if I told you there was a different way? A way where you didn't need to be certain that it was actually going to work out. A way where you didn't even need to be perfect or wait for the perfect timing or to have the perfect education. And a way where you didn't even need to be confident. And this is a methodology that has helped me and the thousands of people that I've coached do things that they once thought were completely impossible. And I like to call it the be the first mentality. And by the end of this session today, you're going to have all the tools that you need to not only take that very first step, but to see it all the way through. Now, I know exactly how that feels in your body. And the most vivid moment for me was when I found myself standing on the platform ready to compete on American Ninja Warrior. And also, of course, where they're literally waiting for you to fail and fall into the water. But here's the thing, I actually wasn't even supposed to be here. I was actually a biochemist working the 12-hour overnight shifts. And then my friend was putting in a video submission for a popular TV show called American Ninja Warrior. Has anyone ever heard of it? Yeah? Well, I hadn't. So I decided to put in a video anyway. So I just want to show you a quick clip of this video. And after putting this in, I honestly completely forgot about it. And then a couple months later, I get a call from a random 818 number. And this 818 number, I thought it was spam, because let's be real, everyone who calls me right now is pretty much spam. So I let it go to voicemail, and this is back when, remember you had to dial in for voicemail? It's not like it is right now. And I dial in, and all of a sudden I hear, "You've been accepted to American Ninja Warrior, and you're gonna be competing in 2 weeks." 2 weeks! Now, there was one massive problem, though. I had no idea how to ninja. So now I did what anyone else would do nowadays, and I posted on Facebook, "Wanted, someone to help me ninja." And believe it or not, I actually got messages back, which is how I found myself in a sketchy backyard in the middle of nowhere on homemade obstacles, and people were teaching me how to ninja. And I just want to show you how my first day went so you can kind of get some context here. First obstacle I ever tried, outside. Yeah, dropped the bar on my nose. So things were going great. And 2 weeks later, I headed off to Pittsburgh to compete for the very first time. And there was so much about American Ninja Warrior that I didn't know, and maybe you didn't know it too. So I want to go through some fun facts about American Ninja Warrior. The first thing is that this competition runs for 2 days. The first day, it's about 100+ competitors, and whoever goes the furthest and the fastest, they move on to the 30 to move on to the next night to then compete again on a longer course, and then the top 15 move on to compete in Las Vegas to try and climb Mount Midoriyama and win $1 million. Only 3 people have ever won, for context. It's filmed overnight, from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., so thank goodness I was working the overnight shift. Number 3, you don't get to try any of the obstacles. You don't know what they are, but what's really cool is while they're building the set outside, us ninjas would spy on it being made. So we'd literally get binoculars out, we'd spy on the course we made, we'd get in a nice big group chat, and we would try and make replicas of these obstacles to just kind of test it out. Kind of cool, right? Because we're competing against each other, yet we're all working together because we just want somebody to get through it. And you have no idea if you'd be aired. So the first time that I competed, I got my entire family together to watch me compete, and they didn't even show me. Awesome. But after this, I was hooked. And I said to myself, I want to come back, and I want to be a top female competitor. So I trained harder, and I put in a next submission video. And of course, I'm like, I'm going to get on. I got on with no problem last time. But I got rejected. Not only once, I got rejected twice. But in the meantime, I decided, you know what, I'm going to keep training, and I'm going to put in for some other opportunities that I think could be good for me. So I photoshopped myself on the cover of oxygenmagazine.com, and I sent it in to everyone who had oxygenmagazine.com as their email address. So info@oxygenmagazine.com, billing@oxygenmagazine.com. And do you think they got back to me? Anyone? No. Rejected again. But then I realized when I put in my video the next year that this wasn't just about your athletic ability. You needed to have a story. This is a reality TV show, right? And this time I did have a story. I actually quit the biochemistry job. I opened up my own gym, and while I didn't get on the cover of Oxygen magazine, I got on the cover of Women's Health magazine, and I had a boyfriend for like a second, and I should not have put him in that video. Should not have put him in the video. But hey, this video worked, and I made it, and this time I was ready. And I just want to take you through this course with me. The first obstacle is one of those obstacles where you have to jump side to side. Anyone ever see it? So you're jumping side to side on it. Second obstacle, you are lacheting through the air, which means you're literally on a bar, you're swinging, and you're gliding through the air, touching from one bar to the next, and I land. Everyone in the audience is like, where did this girl come from? Then I get to the next obstacle, which is a really sketchy agility obstacle. So we've got these two beams, these little wires hanging on these little beams, and they're all wobbly, and you basically have to say a prayer and run as fast as you can through, and I land. And then I get to this next obstacle. My coach is in front of me, and he's like, Angela, you're going to make this. I've seen you do this obstacle before. I jump up. I'm swinging side to side, gliding through the air from one to the next. I go, and I land, and I collapse. And just like that, it was over. I tore my ACL in front of everyone.
And I just collapsed.
Oh, no, that right knee. She is in a lot of pain.
I went from being on the course, walking in strong, to not being able to even walk on the way out. I tore my ACL, and that was it. My season was over.
And I did everything right? I showed up, I trained, I kept putting the videos in over and over again when I got rejected, yet I still failed. And how many of you have had a moment like this? Maybe it wasn't tearing your ACL. Maybe it was that deal that unexpectedly fell through. Maybe it was that setback that came out of nowhere. Maybe it was that breakup that you weren't expecting. And I think what happens in these moments is that we get stuck and we don't know what to do next. And you really start to question everything. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not strong enough. And in these moments, you start to lose your footing. And what I realized during this moment was that we always hear about these rock bottom moments that we have, right? These rock bottom moments. And then about this epic comeback, and it feels like, poof, it just kind of happened. You went from rock bottom all the way to the end. But we're missing something entirely. And I like to put it like this. When one door closes, another one opens. But nobody talks about the hallway in between. And that's where we spend the most of our time. And we don't know if or when the next door is actually going to open. But maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't be so scared to take the first step and do that thing that we were talking about before if you knew how to navigate that hallway, if you felt confident in that path. So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through the steps that I've used to navigate that hallway, not only take the first step, but see it all the way through.